You are welcome to the Messiah Revelation Ministry. We are a prophetic end time ministry dedicated to preparing the world for the arrival of the Messiah. The prophecies in Matthew 24, Luke 21, and Mark 13, and they are being fulfilled. The final trumpet of heaven has sounded. And so you see a lot of things going on in the world, and things that should let you know that the world is ripe for God's divine judgment. And there was a time that there was a Chinese foreign minister, Chu Enlai, and he traveled the world and he saw the conditions in the world, in the developing nations, the so-called third world nations. And he said that the conditions are favorable for revolution, a Marxist communist revolution, because the conditions in the nations are the conditions that precede a revolution. So he was happy, and he said the world is ripe for a revolution. And if you read the Bible, you know that the world is ripe for God's judgment, because the iniquities of the Amorites, they are ripe. And so the world is ripe for divine judgment. And the video is dedicated to an article that I read from Now the End Begins. And the article is about what is happening in the hospitals in the United Kingdom. Trans women are now breastfeeding for children. The article is about hospitals in the UK promoting breastfeeding for trans women. A trans woman is somebody who was not biologically a woman, but the person has transitioned to be a woman. So this is what we call a trans woman. And hospitals in the UK, they are promoting breastfeeding for trans women. And they are using a protocol. We call it Newman-Codfar protocol. It's a special protocol that is designed for trans women. The trans women will go through that protocol with the intent that they will be able to breastfeed, in quotation marks, breastfeed babies. And when we hear those things, we need to look at them in a context. It's not a mother breastfeeding a baby, but it's a trans woman breastfeeding a baby, and the trans woman has to go through special protocols that will enable her, quote unquote, to be able to breastfeed a baby. The world is upside down, and that culture is contrary to what is written in the Bible. And the Bible is very clear. And so when you see certain things going on in the world, you know the world is ripe for judgment. And the Apostle Peter talks about it. So let's look at what the Apostle Peter is saying in the book of Peter, the second book of Peter, 2 Peter, chapter 2, verse 6. Apostle Peter is saying, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly. You know what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah in Genesis? The Lord destroyed the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah with fire and brimstone because of the sin of homosexuality. It's not because of the culture of homosexuality. It was as a result of the sin in Sodom and Gomorrah, the sin of homosexuality. And the Messiah was very specific that preceding the days of his second coming, the world would be like Sodom and Gomorrah. And Apostle Peter is saying in 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 6 that the Lord used Sodom and Gomorrah as an example for those who will practice sodomite culture. And when we hear that hospitals in the UK are promoting breastfeeding for trans women, you know that we have advanced far past the procedures and the technologies that existed in Sodom and Gomorrah. And in the case of the UK, they are using a protocol they call Newman-Goldfarb protocol. They have studied, they have researched, and they have the tools, quote unquote, to be able to make trans women have the ability to breastfeed. And all those things must be examined in the context of what is happening in the world. By revelation, the final trumpet of heaven has sounded, a revelation given to me on August 27, 2013. And now you see gender-affirming hormone therapy. People have to go through special hormone therapy in order to transition from one gender to another, and includes children. In some cases, parents don't even have a say in what is happening to their children. It is on a global scale. Gender-affirming hormone therapy designed to change people's gender. And we have so many genders in American Babylon, America, over 30 genders. And we have gender-affirming hormone therapy. And the medical profession has changed. What students learn in medical schools have changed. They have been transformed. And so now in medical school, students have been taught new procedures of changing people's gender, people's sex, procedures of making men women and women men, procedures of changing the internal working systems in men to make them look like women, and in women to make them look and feel like men. They have to learn new techniques, new procedures, new ideas. They have to write papers about it, and they have to publish their research findings about gender-affirming hormone therapy. And now, it is not enough. You have trans women. They are now being given the procedures and the protocol for them to be able to breastfeed. And they are proud, quote unquote, women, because we are living in a nation of pride. In June every year, the whole world celebrates the so-called Pride Month, and it shows that we have passed the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. And there's no question that the world is ripe for judgment. And so 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 6 is very, very clear. The Lord made Sodom and Gomorrah be as examples for later generations. And so if you read, as we read in 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 6, Sodom and Gomorrah were overthrown. And so what would the Lord do to the world where now we have gender-affirming hormone therapy, and children can change their gender, their sex, without parental consent? And medical schools all over the world are now teaching new procedures for them to be able to do things that are abominable unto the Lord. And the angels in heaven are watching trans women having babies on their laps, and they are breastfeeding them. And it's not a natural phenomenon. They have been given a special protocol. We call it Newman-Goldfarb protocol in UK hospitals. And you are telling me the world is not ripe for judgment? If the Lord destroyed the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah because of homosexuality, what will happen to the world when now you see gender-affirming hormone therapies going on, when you see new medical procedures designed to alter the creation of God in order to make mockery of God, procedures that constitute rebellion against God. Satan and his angels, including Satan and his angels, they are doing all things that are possible to rebel against God. That's the final rebellion. A transgender woman, obviously a biological man, breastfeeding a baby using protocols developed by medical doctors. When you see that, you see the abomination. You see rebellion. You see Satan preparing the world for final judgment, divine judgment from God. And the prophet Isaiah has already warned us. And so we can go to Isaiah chapter 5 verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. So when we see a trans woman breastfeeding a baby using the so-called Newman-Goldfarb protocols, you see an abomination right in your face. You see rebellion right in your face. You see prophecy being fulfilled right in your face, because the Messiah said the days prior to his coming would be like the days of Lot, the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. And you see the Apostle Peter also saying that the Lord reserved Sodom and Gomorrah as evidence of his disdain, his hatred for homosexuality. And Sodom and Gomorrah is an example for future generation who live ungodly, Gender-affirming hormone therapy is an abomination unto the Lord. Medical procedures designed to alter the biological makeup of men and women is an abomination unto the Lord. And there was an abomination at the Supreme Court hearing where a woman, Ketanji Brown, she was asked a simple question. Is there any difference between a man and a woman? She's a woman. She couldn't answer the question. Not because she's dummy. It's because politically it was not correct to talk about biological difference between a man and a woman. Because she knows she's living in a Sodomite nation and is going to serve on the highest court in Babylon, America. And so the answer that she gave was an abomination unto the Lord. The world is ripe for judgment, but judgment will come first to the church, and the church of Christ, the so-called church that is affirming homosexuality. And judgment will go to those who are endorsing breastfeeding by trans women. And judgment will go to Babylon, the nations leading in technologies that are designed to alter the biological makeup of men and women. Technologies that are affirming Sodomite lifestyle. We are living in the last days. And so you see abominations with your eyes. And you see trans women breastfeeding babies because they have been given a protocol, Newman Goldfarb protocol, that will enable them to do what is an abomination unto the Lord. What does it tell you? It tells you that we are living in the last days. That's why it's important for us to repent of the sins and to be aware that we are living in the last days. And the Lord warned us, the days prior to his second coming will be like the days of Lot, the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. And now we see men marrying men, women marrying women, children and dressing in a way that is an abomination unto the Lord. Unisex fashion now promoted over the world in contravention of the laws of God in Leviticus and in Deuteronomy. And now you see Satan promoting all kinds of abomination in the world. And they are very proud. The researchers are very proud that now they have protocols that will enable a trans woman to breastfeed a baby. Woe unto you, those who call evil good and good evil. Isaiah 5:20 is telling you, woe unto you. This is a message warning you about the days of Lot. We are already past the days of Lot. And the world is ripe for judgment. Judgment is coming. It will not tally. Thank you for watching this video. My email, raptureafrica@yahoo.com.